Great to be here. Fantastic to see the size of the crowd here. Really impressive. Really impressive. I think the gentleman sitting next to me must be a big reason for this crowd being here. All of us we are in Pune. All of us know Quick Heal, the very impressive story of Quick Heal, which Sanjay is the founder of, along with his brother Kailash. Most of us will also know where they started. They started as a computer maintenance business, and from there they took it all the way to being, the listed company that Quick Heal is. Many of us may not know something that I'm going to say, but will not be surprised that the first antivirus softwares that were written by Quick Heal was written by Sanjay with his own hands, just a single person army in his college. He was the one who was writing all those antivirus softwares. So let us have a big hand for Sanjay. Thanks for being here. Really looking forward to our chat. So let me start with the first question, Sanjay, which is from your vantage point of being Quick Heal, how do you see the enterprise security scenario out there in the world, both in terms of how it has come up, the challenges, the opportunities, the overview that you see?
So if I have to say, see, enterprise security, if I see it as not working, it's not. The enterprise security market is at, I'll say, according to me, is at a shift. And this shift happens, like I'll say, a big shift happens after, say, couple of years or maybe that. But this time it is completely different. For example, if I have to compare when I started, enterprise security was all about protecting your endpoints and installing antivirus on the PCs. But then gradually it shifted to perimeter security and prevention. And we immediately started seeing all the threats evolving all towards this protection. And then now we have started seeing, or we are already seeing, detection and response as the major practice being followed across the enterprises in cybersecurity. But now what is happening, CISOs and CIOs are now looking at it at a different angle. They are like assuming enterprise security is assuming compromise and still maintaining the resilience, still having the way to continue without much impact and without much, I'll say, stop the businesses. The focus is all towards continuing resilience in spite having the breach. And the focus is that way. So that is the, I'll say, enterprise security is moving towards that. So now if I can compare that, there are three things that I can tell. One is like threat actors are expanding and like say improving more faster than the defenders. That's, and AI is helping them. And AI is helping in the sense, what is happening? They are fine-tuning their attacks. They are fine-tuning their ways to do things. If you see earlier, if a hacker need to attack or breach an organization, he really had to prepare. He really had to understand the network and do a lot of things, go into the backend, finding the vulnerability, designing the exploit, all that. But with the kind of tools that are available on dark web now and the AI era, things have become much easier for them. Things are now, they are automating their attacks towards weakest victims. That is the change on that front. And on the enterprise front, what I have seen, the attack surface has exploded like anything. Now, enterprises are not only having just endpoints, they are using SaaS, they are using cloud, they are using APIs, and then at the same time now, it's remote workers or even IoT devices is adding up to the attack surface. Along with that, all the things that are changing is AI agents coming into the picture. Now, all this has given a big worry for all CISOs because now they just cannot keep watching one thing. They have to keep monitoring everything. And on the third front, cybersecurity is now no more a IT security problem or IT problem. People have started in enterprises. It's all a boardroom discussion. Decisions happen from top down. Leaderships are involved in deciding how fast we can respond, how fast we can detect, how fast we can overcome the breach. So this is the change that I am seeing. When I started, it was completely different. Now it is all about, enterprise is all about faster detection, faster response, and decision is happening top down.
Thank you. I mean, unsurprisingly, the word AI came up a lot of times. And this event is for AI. And so that was expected. So what I'm going to ask you next is, in the Indian scenario, because of AI, a lot more new people are going to come under the realm of AI, they'll get benefited because of the languages issue and so on. So people new to tech are going to be coming in and getting exposed to a lot of tech. What kind of opportunities or challenges that you see in India because of this AI that is going to happen, or in general also, specifically in the Indian markets? What do you see as the opportunities or challenges for enterprise security?
So very good question. I'll say so. Good time. India is in a unique position. I'll say one. India is adopting AI much faster, and because of that, it's I'll say not only that, but on the other hand, digitization has really helped India a lot. We have like digitizing at population scale, which is nowhere in the world. If you see things like Aadhaar or UPI payments, if you see, or even government services or BFSI, fintech, healthcare, everything is like on digitized now. And this is opening up a lot of opportunities. And on that front, if you see, large enterprises are well prepared. They are investing into security. They are having quite right processes and policies. But India is not only about large enterprises. India is more about mid market and SMBs. It's a huge market for SMBs and mid market. And here I'll say SMBs and mid market. The trend in last 2 quarters has been that they are adapting AI faster, but security much slower. It's a reverse, I'll say, and this gives a like big opportunity for everyone out there. One, at the same time opportunity, at the same time risk. One is like we are ready for a kind of market that we are seeing. If somebody has to develop something on security in AI, India is the very good market to test that things. Now India is going to see AI related security challenges much faster than any other economy. Of course, developed economies will have a different challenge, but I'm talking about AI related population scale challenges, which India will be facing for the first time, and then the other world will see the things like deepfake being used for frauds or identity capture or AI related frauds. And all this is giving you opportunity to come out with a solution that can solve these things. But at the same time, we need to remember that India is more of a price sensitive. And this also means that whatever we develop, it has to be ROI driven. It has to create a value to the organization. And if you can start testing your solution and start understanding if how it is adding value to the customer, you will automatically innovate. And this is the opportunity that India is giving. And that is where we have this opportunity of creating something in AI security, which will solve things at population scale at a ROI level. And this thing they can definitely go global actually.
Fantastic. So there is an opportunity for founders, all the founders out sitting out here, to build for India as well. That's a large enough market in your opinion.
And then go globally.
Yeah, I had heard some time back that security failures are going to happen. How quickly you recover is the real issue, and that is the kind of solutions that people will have to build. We looked at the Indian market and the Indian opportunity. Of course, we know that for our industry, what we're looking at is going global, right? What can we do for the globe sitting out here in India? And for that, we do have some precedents in terms of the success of all these developer tools that did really well in the global market. You're talking about Postman, you're talking about
platforms, and
all these platforms. So they have done really well, correct? So do you see this opportunity for security players also, that they could also kind of have a similar story of building for the globe as well, over and above the Indian opportunity that you talked about? Yes.
Again, a very good question. See, cybersecurity, I'll say, is a very different market and a very difficult market at the same time, especially enterprise security. When we see developer tools or SaaS platforms, is more of a user adoption based approach. Developers adopt it, they love it, they share it, and things are taken to the organization, and then gradually people see ROI and they go forward. But security, as I explained, one is like we definitely need adoption, but at the same time, it is all trust driven. And to build trust, and at the same time, the approach is top down decision making approach in enterprises. So when it is decision is happening top down and the trust is needed, here trust cannot be like having a one innovative product and showing that you can solve the things. Trust needs long term resilience, trust needs long term commitment, things when go wrong. So companies are going to trust you when they are facing the worst day of their life, and they will only do when you are a partner or a partner who can face that situation and come out of that. So you have to show that trust, and that only happens over the time. One, and second, if you have to do GTM on that line, one is I'll say do product led approach for showcasing your strength, but at the same time enterprise led relationship building trust, creating, achieving certifications, showing the confidence, and then only you will be able to capture that.
So what I'm learning from this, Sanjay, is I gave the example or precedent of all these developer tools. And you talk about, Postman, browser stack, Emergent is the latest example. What typically the GTM that worked for them was what we call the B2C2B model. And what I mean by that is you sell to individuals, they like the tool, and then they take it to their enterprises. And that's how the path to the enterprise sales gets easier.
Interesting.
And I was thinking if something like that could be done in the security space also, but you have kind of said no.
Yeah,
Because
so
it's a top down.
both the experience. I can give you example, like see from my life experience. We started with consumer security, so we kill was all about antivirus for PCs. So there it was like adoption based. When we started solving challenges, we tried to build trust of users on their PCs because trust was gone. So that's where we focused. And when we entered enterprise security with Seqrite as a brand, we have a Seqrite brand which focuses on enterprise security, which is like XDR, all that. So that we realized that selling is different altogether. It took us time, but then we realized it's all about trust. We need to build a trust. We need to build the confidence. We have to become a partner of the customer in bad times is the outcome. That's where we focused. We focused on building the complete trust by making the products at the same one thing, international level certification. On the other hand, building the trust by showing up at the 2 a.m. when they call. Actually, that level of trust is needed. So we have to have that ecosystem of supporting a customer when there's a situation, and it only proves after time and again. Actually, we have to show them continuously, repeat our confidence, and then only it builds. It takes time. Actually.
Get that. So nothing is easy in life, but just in the context of AI, do you think it will become easier for the founders in India to sell to the enterprise market? Does it become difficult because you earlier said that AI is actually creating more problems for security than solving? I ask this because I'm digging a little deeper here. Typically for the younger companies, the smaller startups, what we are saying is you focus on some kind of a vertical niche, some kind of niche, because the tech giants will always take the horizontal larger space, and you could do better by focusing on something which is niche, which you have expertise on. Typically it seems to me that security is a horizontal. And so that it seems challenging to me that what can be built. So if you throw some light on what are the opportunities, niche opportunities that founders could focus on, where they have an opportunity to go.
So there are certain opportunities. Like definitely, as you rightly pointed, one, if you have to go B2C to B, that way, then on API security, on things that are like model guardrails, all these are smaller challenges to solve, and these can grow through community. If you can solve, you can put it and get the community confidence. That happens much faster, and then solve those problems where the large enterprises are not yet focusing actually, and like using AI can, if it can be speeden up things, then it's still
AI will help speed things up.
Okay, and it is helping on both the sides. So as I said, if you see recent last 2 months announcement from Anthropic about vulnerability scanning using AI has helped a lot of product to find vulnerabilities they were taking years to fix actually or find. So those things are like something that can be built at a lower cost because those are the low hanging fruits. And once they are adopted, then the company will get acquired or they'll get adopted actually.
Great, thanks. So now that we've seen the opportunity, challenges, whatever we call in India for the world, to build all those things, do we really have the ecosystem that is required to support our founders to take up these kind of challenges and then go out and win those kind of markets? So this is a question not for the founders, but for all of us who are trying to support the founders. What kind of ecosystem is required by the founders? And I ask this question specifically because, especially in the AI world, we see that a lot of the foundational things are actually coming from outside of India, where you talk about GPUs, you talk about LLMs, all of these are coming from outside. is that not a challenge for somebody from India to build things for security especially? And so what should be the ecosystem here that could help founders build?
So I don't see India building foundational models immediately, at least now. So what we can do is build over the foundation models, the security layer. And security layer is all about having right data. And especially in security, geopolitical or geographical data is very important. It's like regional threats are always different and they go in a different angle. So developing a layer of security using these tools that can solve regional problems is definitely a big opportunity. But then at the same time, if you have to look at ecosystem, I'll talk about multiple things. One is how a government is helping. I'll say we are into this business since long, and I'm seeing a lot of support coming up from government in recent times, especially focusing on making India for cybersecurity. There's a support there out there. We just have to, like, of course, be in the right place at the right time. It's very important, and we have to show the scale that they are looking at, because government is always looking at the larger scales actually, but they are definitely giving opportunities for startups. Other side, I'll say ecosystem wise, large enterprises really need to come and forward for design partner, because creating a solution that is for enterprise security, it needs an environment to test, it needs a support of that, and that is only in the form of like design partners. And that is what I see is currently very difficult to find. If somebody has connections and somebody can convince the CIO CISOs, then definitely the startups will be happy to test and evaluate their things in the real environment. And thirdly, I'll say we have talent already. We have a large engineering pool. We have AI talent as well. But I'm seeing a deep security insight is missing. People are developing things that are very shallow. And if you really need to develop a global cybersecurity, something that goes global, you really need to go deep. If you see Israel ecosystem, if you see US ecosystem, they select one problem, but they go deep into that. They don't select multiple problems. So we have to be having that mindset. And that mindset comes when you start thinking like an attacker. You cannot think only to like, this is a problem I need to solve. You really need to start thinking about how attackers think, how we can adopt in that thinking, and then definitely you'll start seeing the light. That's like, we need to change the thinking. We need to bring in the security thinking to the existing engineering pool, and you'll definitely start seeing some light into that.
Multiple things to take care of, and nobody said it was going to be easy. So thanks for that. Coming to the close of our discussion, so I'm just going to ask Sanjay for just one thought that you can leave the audience with if they are planning to build for the enterprise security space, because they are going to build it for the next 5 to 10 years. So what would be your one thought that you would have for our audience here?
I keep meeting a lot of founders, and always have seen what they are focusing on is about like coming out with a amazing technology, amazing feature. And I have to keep telling them again and again that don't think in terms of features. Think in terms of what are you solving, which pain point you are solving, what incident you are going to solve. So start thinking in terms of incidents, like rather than features, because customers nowadays are not buying tools, they are not buying features. They definitely look at features, but they look at how are you reducing my response time, how are you reducing my detection time, how are you reducing my impact as well. So that is something that is being looked after. So if you see from my example, I live with this. Like when I started Quick Heal, I focused on detecting viruses, cleaning them. My focus was that like how fast, how many viruses I can detect. I really struggled in the early days because I realized that everybody was doing that. And then when I started sitting with customers, I realized what they are looking into. They were losing trust on computers because of virus. And I realized I have to build trust of theirs onto the computers. The focus changes, the features changes automatically. If you start thinking you need to build that trust on the computers, that's how that was helped me. And if you now compare that with the current situation, you really need to build trust. And you need to ask yourself, what if you are building something in security in the AI era, you have to think what security, what trust you are creating. Are you creating trust in AI? Are you creating trust in automation? Are you creating trust in the process flow, the whole thing? Or I'll say those who are going to think in the terms of like, I can block these many attacks is not going to solve. But if you can say that I can build trust for the customers who to use the things, autonomous things that are coming. That will definitely fly. And in next 5-10 years, I think those will be the companies will go global and will become successful.
Wonderful, Sanjay. Thank you so much. I hope we have done well on time. So this is Girindra Kasmarkar, Pentathlon Ventures. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Thank you, and it was really great.
Thanks, Giri. Thanks, Sanjay.